Once upon a time, a beautiful, vibrant and lively village came to know some hardship. On one sunny day, out of nowhere, suddenly the earth underneath people's feet cracked and started to shake. And so many ran home to grab their possessions and beloveds and moved away as far as possible from the shaken ground. And some took cars, others took warm clothing and coats, others carried sheep and goats and cows. And that was the exact time when one girl got caught in this too. She was in the garden when earthquake happened, so she quickly ran into the house, took the knitted scarf made by the loving hands of your grandmother and a handful of sunflower seeds that both of them picked a few days ago. And soon she caught up with the rest of the people. And as they all looked back, they saw their village being taken, swallowed by Mother Earth. And so they had nothing to go back to. The only way was forward. And all together they set off in search of a new place to call home. And those that took their cars and vehicles were very happy, for they could move with ease. But after days of rain and strong winds, the cars became rusty. They ran out of petrol, and so people had to abandon them and move on their feet. And those that carried blankets and coats enjoyed warm nights, but soon the cold winds and rains too have plucked the fur of the coats, leaving people cold. But the spirit was strong. They all still gathered around the fire to rest, imagining the place where they could live, sharing stories with their loved ones, and sharing whatever they had. The young girl didn't have much to give, and yet still every evening she would find small children who could fit under her scarf, and they would sit warmed up, hearing the stories of the elders. And one of those moments, a young boy noticed that she had seeds in her pocket. "Let's eat them," he said. "I am hungry." But the girl moved away. "I will not give you my seeds," she answered. "They are not for eating." But the boy was not having it. And as he threw the tantrum, many other kids joined, and so did the adults. Truth be told, that many of them were hungry for days, for there was very little food available to them, and the little they had they shared. So every little food was the matter of life and death, and many called her selfish. And soon children stopped sitting with her, and adults stopped talking to her, tolerating her only because she was one of them. And she kept moving with her people. She herself did not touch a single seed, for she knew the value of them. She knew that they were for later. But the pressure to share them and give them away was stronger and stronger every day. So much so that soon her people left her out in the rain and the cold, and they stopped sharing the little that they had with her. And so, after some time, the people suddenly came to a place that felt like a breath of fresh air, and they instantly knew that this was the place they ought to call home. And their tired bodies felt to the green grass, and they quenched their thirst in the clean springs, and they stretched their faces towards the sun, and finally let the breath of release exit them. They no longer had to move. They found their new place, and they made shelters from whatever they had left and whatever they could find. And they sat around the fire and started to sing songs again. Life was looking good. This was good. And all meanwhile, the young girl sat outside the new village, wrapped up in her old scarf, now weathered, and deep within herself she knew it was time. She ran towards the tree that stood by the creek. She kneeled to the ground and got the sunflower seeds from her pocket. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you for welcoming us in, for giving us a chance to live. We are grateful, each one of us in ways we can." She bowed down and kissed the wet, moist ground and drank the fresh, crystal clear water. And as she finished, she scattered the sunflower seeds around as an offering for the new place, a new home. And so she returned and built a small shelter for herself. And her people were not too ill-tempered, so soon she found her way back to the circle and the fire. But some months after, it became apparent that although the place was beautiful and abundant with water, not much grew here. There was no food easily available, no fruit, no mushrooms, no berries. No matter how hard people searched, they found nothing. And so the hunger crept in, back again into the village, all until a couple of kids went to play by the tree that stood by the creek, and suddenly they noticed the field of sunflowers, stretching their bright yellow faces towards the sun, with black seeds ripening. And so people came to gather the seeds, and just before they did, one of the elders turned to the young girl and said, "Well, you were the one that given the seeds to the land. So I ask you, what shall we do with this harvest?" And the girl smiled and remembered what her grandmother always said, that sharing is key to having everything and never going hungry. "Let's split it in half," she said. "Give half of the harvest to the birds, and we'll take the rest." And so that is what was done. And as more birds arrived into their place, they came with the other seeds on their paws, and with birds came other animals, wild cats and deer and boars and so people learn how to hunt and take what they needed to live. And never again they've forgotten how to make offerings and how to be grateful for what they are given in order to live well.